Hello, it's April and welcome to Snapdragon Hollow. Today I thought I would share a quick book vlog with you. I thought I would go ahead and share my autumn bookshelves here. I meant to do this earlier in November, but November has just breezed by. It's hard to believe that November is more than halfway over, so I figured I better get on here and share with you all of the books that I've set out on my November bookshelf here, and share with you some of the books that I'll be reading this month, as well as some of the fun children's books that I have down here to share with my grandchildren. Let's go ahead and start on the top shelf here. This book here is a poem for every autumn day. I haven't read much of this yet, but I do plan to read a few more autumn poems before autumn is over. And I'll be sharing more with you in my November wrap-up, the books that I have read so far this month. This one is one I'm currently working through right now, Agatha Christie's Autumn Chills. This is wonderful, nice short little mysteries to read, and I've really been enjoying this during my breaks in the middle of the day. Grab this book and a cup of tea, and it's absolutely fun to read that. Then we have my fun autumn decor up here, little glass candy dish. Then I've got a few books over here. These are like middle grades, I believe. These I haven't read yet, and I don't know that I'll get to them this month, but I sure hope I do. This is by Ash, Oak, and Thorn, and then by Rowan and You. These are fun little books here. You can see how pretty they are. They look like they're about these little people here. You can see the mushrooms and the nature on the cover. This one I thought would just be good for an autumn read, so I'm hoping I can get to that sometime in the next couple of weeks. I've got Miss Hickory here. I've read this before and I want to read that again. Same with this one, The Rackety Packety House. I love these. I chose these books just because the colors kind of match the shelf and just the vibe, the autumn vibe. This is one I'm currently reading as well. This is The Birch Bark House by Louise Erdrich. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but yes, The Birch Bark House, about an indigenous family here and how they live in their birch bark house and some of the things that go on. It's absolutely wonderful. I can see why it won the National Book Award. This was a book suggested to me a while back because I'm a fan of Little House on the Prairie. It was suggested as a book that if you enjoy Little House on the Prairie, you would also enjoy reading this book about these indigenous people, this indigenous family, around the same time frame, I believe, of Little House. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, but about the timeline of this. But I can tell you that this book is really good. I'm really enjoying it. And I'll give more of an update in that in my November wrap-up. So that is my top shelf. And then down here, this is my second shelf here. This is where I've put my cozy mysteries. I've read a couple already this month, and again, I'll share those in my wrap-up video. But the ones that I want to read for the rest of November, this one here, The Big Chili by Julia Buckley. I recently read another book by Julia Buckley, and I enjoyed it so much that I purchased some of her other cozy mysteries. So I'll be reading this. This is the first in a new series as well, the Undercover Dish Mysteries series. So we'll be reading The Big Chili. And then if I have time, I'll be reading this, Leslie Meyer, Gobble Gobble Murder. I thought that this would be a fun book to read throughout the Thanksgiving weekend. And then these are some of my favorite newer cozy mysteries. These are so interesting and unique. When you first see these Shady Hollow mystery books, you might think it is a children's book or a book about animals or something like that. It is a cozy murder mystery series, but the characters are all animals in the forest. So they are animals that act just like humans, but with the twist that they are, of course, animals living in Shady Hollow. It's very, very fun to read these books. I find myself really enjoying the characters. It's a nice, easy read. The mysteries are always enjoyable. And the reason I put this on my November shelf is because the newest in the series finally came out, and I received it a little over a week ago. So I've already read Shady Hollow, Cold Clay, and Mirror Lake. And I also believe I read an online Christmas small shorter book that is part of the Shady Hollow series as well, but it's not in print, it's just an ebook. And this is the newest one that I'm so excited to get to reading here this week, A Shady Hollow Mystery, Twilight Falls, again by Juno Black. So that is on my November shelf. It doesn't particularly have to do with November or the fall, but last fall I really enjoyed reading the Shady Hollow Mystery series, and I'm so excited that there's a new one. So I'll definitely be reading that right away. And again, I'll give you an update on that in future book vlogs. So that is my second shelf down there with all my cozy mysteries. I've also gone ahead and turned on the light here in my little vintage glass fairy light. I do collect vintage glass. These pieces are not vintage, they're just modern pieces, but they have that vintage look to them. This one is, however, a vintage fairy light here. So I'm always happy to put that out in the autumn. I love that amber brown color. So that is how the second shelf is decorated and the books on that shelf. And then down here we have all of my fall children's books. I'm really excited about some of the new ones that I've picked out here, as well as some of our old favorites. I'll go ahead and share these with you now. First, we have this book here. It's an autumn pop-up book called Leaves. It's really beautiful. I love pop-up books. You can see the leaves here on the tree. And look at that one. So, so beautiful. Again, I love pop-up books, and I love sharing these pop-up books with my grandchildren. So this is one that we'll be reading. We haven't read this one yet to the grandkids, but we have read some of these so far. We've read In the Middle of Fall. This one's a beautiful board book. Look at those vibrant fall colors there. Just love this book here. This is good for all through fall, but I put this on our November bookshelf. And then this one was one I recently picked out at Barnes & Noble. I saw this and I just thought it was so cute. My husband looked at it with me and we both thought that this would be a fun one to share with our grandkids. Thankful Thanksgiving. It's about this cute little mouse family here and just their fun family Thanksgiving celebration. I really loved all the different family scenes in this. And we have big family meals together. And so I thought that it was nice that our grandchildren would see that in book form too, just like our own family dinners. So that's this one, Thankful Thanksgiving. I thought that was really cute. Again, I love board books. Then this one I read, this is called Molly's Pilgrim, and she is a Russian immigrant who came to the country for religious freedom and finds her story to be similar to the original Pilgrim stories. It's a really cute, small little book here, but I really enjoyed it. So Molly's Pilgrim by Barbara Cohen. Then we have this cute one here that I enjoyed reading the other day to my grandchildren, Happy Thanksgiving Biscuit. Of course, if you're familiar with children's books, you may be familiar with Biscuit, this adorable little dog here, and this is his fun little Thanksgiving story. This book here has flaps on every other page, like so, that kind of show, actually I think every page has one of those, that just show the different things that happen with Biscuit throughout this cute little Thanksgiving story. Then we have here a classic, The Story of Pilgrims by Catherine Ross. This one I'm excited to read to my grandkids this week, the Elmo's Best Thanksgiving Ever book. I think they'll like this book. I love golden books and Sesame Street and things like that. So I thought that this would be a fun one to read with them. Next, I have The First Thanksgiving. This is written by, I think it's pronounced Jane Craighead George. She's actually one of my favorite authors. She wrote My Side of the Mountain, which is one of my childhood favorite stories and movies. So I thought that I would get her book here about the first Thanksgiving. The illustrations looked beautiful. This is a newer book that I also spotted in Barnes & Noble, and then I decided to go ahead and purchase this later. This is called, I believe, Keepin' Amok, Lee E. Atcham's Thanksgiving Story. This is by Daniel Greendeer, Anthony Perry, and Alexis Bunton, illustrated by Gary Meaches Sr. So it just looks beautiful. I loved the fox here. I love reading stories like this. So again, I will share what this book is like. I'll be reading this week as well, and I'll share that in my November wrap-up, what I thought of this book. It's very beautiful, though. Then we have this book about fall leaves. And we have another cranberry book. I read Cranberry Halloween. Now I'll be reading Cranberry Thanksgiving. This was also part of a series that I read last month as well, the one about the pumpkin patch. I can't remember its title now, but this one is Thanksgiving in the Woods. I read this last year and really enjoyed it, and I'll be reading that again. Then we have here by Eve Bunting, A Turkey for Thanksgiving, a classic illustrated story. This is one of my favorite fall stories. This book is called The Apple Cake. It is a Florist Books book. I really do enjoy a lot of the florist books. And this story is just really sweet. It's about this old woman who goes around and trades things that she has to get the ingredients for an apple cake. So throughout the story, she trades and trades until she has the ingredients for an apple cake. And it just shows her perseverance and sharing with other community. And then she has her apple cake, and a bunch of other people get what they need as well. So the apple cake. And then, of course, a classic here, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I love this book as well as the show every single Thanksgiving. This is an oldie here from when my kids were little, Arthur's Thanksgiving. We used to watch that on PBS. Then we have the Berenstain Bears Thanksgiving Blessings. And then we have The Thanksgiving Story by Alice Daglish. This book is by Frank Ash, and it's called Popcorn. I love popcorn this time of year, and so I thought that I would go ahead and get out this book and have this as an option to read to the grandkids. Also, Fletcher and the Falling Leaves. And then this book, We Gather Together, Celebrating the Harvest Season. Another nice one for both autumn and Thanksgiving. This one here is more of a fall book. It's Sweep. And you can see all the fall leaves there. This is a beautiful story as well, called Sharing the Bread, an old-fashioned Thanksgiving story. And then we have this here, a fun book here with some crafts and recipes and ideas for fall. This is called The Little Homesteader, a Fall Treasury. And it's really cute. I have these for all of the different seasons. So I thought I'd bring this out for the rest of fall. So that was the bottom shelf, the last shelf of my November bookshelf here. I've also just put out a simple little doll and a thankful sign, things that won't be harmed if my grandchildren are able to reach them. So that is my November bookshelf. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at all of my different November recommendations, some fun choices for the month of November. I'm excited to read the rest of these cozy mysteries this month, and I'm also really excited to share some more of these Thanksgiving and autumn books with my grandchildren. Again, I'll be back at the end of November to let you know all the books that I've read in November and what I thought about them. I hope everyone is having a wonderful November. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.